What's happening, traders? Richard here, the Elliott Wave Jedi, back again with a weekly outlook and technical analysis, serving traders responsibly here with Orbex.com. Today is the 16th of November. It is 12:42 p.m. Eastern European Standard Time, and I decided to record this video because I believe that the market could be once more located at a crossroad, a juncture, and that new trades could be about to commence. So I will be going through my wave counts and I will be using my charting skills to give you guys an awesome technical analysis, those to possibly prepare you for the coming week, right? So this video will have timestamps, so if you don't feel like sticking around throughout the entire recording, just use the timestamps in the description so we don't have an issue there. Now, let's get charting, shall we? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay on the daily time frames first and then closely zooming in a little bit to the 2-hour charts. So without further ado, let's actually start with the dollar index. I'm on the dollar index, the daily time frame right here, and you guys actually know my views from before. Let's say for instance the way I'm labeling the dollar index and the entire rise right there, which actually started on the, let's say in the second half of February 2018, right, in an impulse 1 2 3, then 4 right there, this complex corrective right there, and the fifth leg, thus basically ending a intermediate degree turquoise A, and there we go with a complex corrections. So the way this is actually unfolding, the way I'm labeling this is in a complex structure which involves either a running or expanding flat, because the B wave went basically exceeded the start of A. Right, so the C leg, in other words, could be either a running flat and not exceeding the end of A, or exceeding it, thus becoming an expanded flat. So basically this pattern, if it is true, what it lacks, what it actually needs is an impulse, a bearish impulse to the downside, obviously, right, which is basically this last piece of the puzzle, the piece de resistance for the dollar index, right, on a daily time frame. So if I do have that, then I will be obviously much more confident for the upside, because let's face it, the dollar has been rising and rising throughout the entire year, right? And somewhere along the line, profit must be taken, right? So we do have, let's say for instance, evidence of that possibly occurring with a bearish divergence right here on the top, yeah, while the trend is actually rising. Notice this rising, basically rising wedge, right there. I call it an ending diagonal because it is an Elliott wave pattern. So basically the way I'm actually looking at things is this basically being the first leg, either this or the entire thing, right? So either this like an A and then a corrective structure. However, I like to keep it like this, A and then an A, B, and then 1 2 3 4 5 for the upside, or it could be a more of a complex structure, which would involve a W, um, and then A, B, 1 2 3 4 5, or something like that. Anyhow, the point is that this structure could be ending right there. So we'll take a look at what actually happens, because as I said, some things can actually synchronize. They could be synchronizing for a market shift or something like that. So let's continue with the gold chart on the daily time frame. So the way I'm the way I'm labeling gold right here, and as you can see, even from the let's say Q4 report and all that, you guys know my views. Okay, so we did have indeed a bounce on gold, not only here but also here previously. Okay, so the way I'm actually labeling this is in an A, B, and then 1, 2, possibly a third wave, either an ending diagonal in this C or a proper impulse. We'll actually see if that occurs, of course. The only thing is it must not break this channel, this lower trend line, because if it does, it could be very bearish, and my next view would be basically this 100% Fibonacci extension of basically W and X orange primary degree. So yeah, it could be quite bearish, and 1115 would be my next focus basically. But I don't believe that just yet. I do believe that gold could be on its way for a nice bullish journey. So we'll basically see about that. Well, what I would like to see is a correction right here, and for that we're gonna zoom into the 2-hour chart later on, okay? So well, actually let's actually start with the dollar index on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up this 2-hour time frame on the daily, sorry, on the dollar index, and what I'm noticing is a possible, let's say, running flat right here in this minute red 2, and the first leg, maybe this to be a correction like a 1, 2, and then 3. Under no circumstance this could actually go higher than this point, or not, or obviously not over here, because otherwise this entire thing could be a correction. So this is what I wanted to give you guys, like this is why I wanted to give you guys a heads up right here, okay? Because the dollar could be rising one more time before that, right? Now, the divergence is not quite there, so this could be possible. Okay. Now, it all depends of, and this is why this is what I'm gonna take a look next week, next trading week. All depends on the next move, how this would actually look, right? If it looks impulsive, then of course it could make a new 1-year high, right? If it doesn't, and it looks corrective, formed out of free move with a complex or a complicated structure right here in this piece, then it could be more bearish, and the downtrend could actually be confirmed. Of course, if it even like if it breaks this, it could be quite bearish in my view. So yeah, that's basically the point. Now moving on to gold, yeah, the structure, and I want to show you a fractal pattern here on gold, because it's really interesting how these patterns keep on repeating, self-repetitive patterns. This is what fractal means, right? The same pattern recurring over and over again under different structures, right? So let's say, for instance, the way it rose right here when it found its bottom in the late September, at the end of September, right? Moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in an ending diagonal, and then it contracted right here with this piece with the zigzag, right? For this. Now, this is a corrective piece. Now, of course, here we would expect gold to just jump, right? For some reason, it's not really going like that. But there is one tool, and I'm using this from time to time. It's actually, let's say, for instance, as a fractal pattern, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire piece, the rise, okay, and just put it right here. Okay, I'm going to take the entire structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it smaller, right? And check this out, guys. Check this out. Check this out, how patterns actually keep on repeating and repeating, right? Now, let me just, okay, there we go. You see? So it's almost identical, almost, right? So this is what we'll actually see. Now I'm gonna zoom in this piece, because this is quite important, right? This could be like a breakthrough or something like that. But I did this before with the euro exactly at the bottom when it bounced, right? So yeah, that thing actually worked. Now, well, will this work too? Well, we shall wait and see. Time always tells, right? So let's say, for instance, previously we had a rise, drop, and then an ending diagonal, right? Contracting, let's say, rising wedge. Rise, drop, contracting, rising wedge happening right now. The only thing that's missing is this correction, right? So this is what I'm saying. I believe that we could be contracting, but I would actually continue being bullish with this. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that pattern right there for further for later. So the point is that this is indeed rising right here, and we do have a bearish divergence, let's say, and I would like to call this first wave, second wave, and then we'll see if this actually happens. Now, obviously, what I would like to see, what would help me to possibly confirm this setup, would be a zigzag, a simple flat, simple correction, right? A zigzag right here, either a 5-3-5 sequence or a 3-3-5 sequence in a flat, but I would be more comfortable with a zigzag or even a sharp correction. I don't mind, but the point is that this trend line could actually gain support if it even goes there, right? So 61.8 obviously would be the default retracement measurement for a wave 2, right? Which is 1204, one of my preferred levels for this precious metal. So yeah, I do believe that, let's say for instance for the trading week we could be contracting, and then we'll take a look at basically these fibs. So notice the support resistances relationship right here. This is a vibration zone where basically price action vibrates. So previously gained resistance here, dropped, broke it, right, and gained support on it all over again, like the boom, 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 and then dropped again. And now guess what's doing, right? Maybe it wants to gain support here for a very big rise. Okay, if it happens, then you'll be nice and green, right? And so will I. Now, moving on, right? Let's actually continue with the with silver, yeah, as a precious metal. Same type of pattern right here, although I'm labeling it as an A B, and let's say this is the way I'm labeling this. B broke the bottom, right? So very important right here. But knowing silver and how rapidly it actually moves, this could actually be something like an extension or something like that in the C leg, in an impulsive manner, in a five-way sequence, obviously, right? And notice the Fibonacci relationship from A, B, the extensions, 161.8 aligns with 38.2, 200% with 50%, and 261.8 somewhere around this vibration zone. And this, I mean, if this rises like that, then I will be on top of my game, right? So we'll basically see what could or would occur, right? Now that's basically I'm looking on the upside, right? But until the upside was could actually occur, okay? Same thing, a five-wave sequence right here on silver. Notice the bearish divergence right around the corner. So even if it does move a little bit more, could make that overshoot obviously, and then contract for these type of levels where previously gained support, break it by a little, and then it goes, right? Knowing silver, as I said, maybe we'll just blink and it will go without us, right? But we'll we'll basically know more once it actually starts, right? So 61.8 again would be the default measurement in this wave 2 correction if it even occurs, right? So 1, 2, and then the um, bullish view. Also a breakout, possible breakout, right? If that actually happens. So yeah, it is exciting. It is exciting. Things are beginning to unfold nicely. Patterns are aligning for me. So let's say, for instance, continuing with crude oil and that massive drop, which obviously you guys know my views on this. Boom, right? On the daily time frame. So yeah, I kind of new there from the actual top. So the way I'm labeling this is the entire rise as an intermediate A green and the corrective piece, which is obviously this C leg went lower than the A. So this makes an expanding flat with a simple flat in this B, right? So we have A, B, and then the sell-off, the C. So the only question is the sell-off over, right? Well, the volumes indicate that this sell-off might not be over. Not to mention that we haven't hit the golden ratio 61.8 of the entire A, yet, if we do, right, so even if we rise, let's say for instance, the extension, how I'm labeling this C leg and the sell-off is in the extension in the fifth leg when the breakout actually occurred. So notice that there's no contraction whatsoever, no retracement. And what I do believe it's could be actually doing is make a fourth wave correction. Has to be let's say for instance could be a complex correction, so we might be in here for a certain amount of time, could actually last this one, and then the last piece, so it could actually give a proper bullish divergence right here for the next trend, right? So I'm still looking on the upside, right? But obviously first I looked on the downside, and I was dead on, spot on, right? Now continuing with the euro, actually let's go on the crude oil on the 4-hour time frame. So the point is, this is this is actually, let's say for instance, the way I'm labeling it as I said, in a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and the extension, the fifth leg, fifth extension right there. So this could, as I said, this could make any type of pattern. It's a wave 4, so it can be quite complex. Yeah, it would be quite difficult to understand this one. It could make like a few types of patterns. So it's best to wait, right? But the default measurements for this wave 4 could be the 38.2, which is 62.60 right there. So around, let's say for instance, around 61 and 62.50, this is the vibration zone right here. Notice these when the price action actually broke on the downside, still consistent bearish volumes right there. So this could be I could be on the right track with this, right? So we'll basically see more later on. So yeah, now on the euro, let me just go to the daily time frame first. Okay, so on the euro, um, it did go up right there, right, right here, right here, almost right here, yes. And now I'm at it again, right? So what I'm looking at is, yeah, this is a very complex structure. I'm not gonna really go into it, except the fact that I'm treating the entire thing as a correction. So I am awaiting a possible rise, a rally actually in the Euro USD, possibly making a head and shoulders pattern right here with the basically with this red primary B to reflect a um, right shoulder in a head and shoulders formation. Also hitting this vibration zone, previous vibration zone. So we'll see what actually happens. Now notice that this trend is actually um, contracting, let's say, on the downside. So descending wedge right there, ending diagonal. I am labeling, this could be labeled in multiple ways. So the A could actually be here. So then again, A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an ending diagonal. However, doesn't really make a difference. The point is that if it breaks right here, could gain support on 1.138. However, if it does correct, and I'm pretty interested to see this correction, yeah, the next support could be around 1.25 something like, sorry, 1.125 something like that. But for that, we'll go on the 2-hour time frame on the Euro USD. Okay, and the way this started on the upside, it is actually going in, let's say, leading diagonal in a 1, right? So it only needs a corrective 2. Obviously, the on the Fibonacci retracement, this could reflect the 61.8. Notice the reaction right here, multiple supports. So this could be quite strong right here for the upside, and then obviously to gain support in this channel if it even breaks. So watch this. I will be watching for that to actually occur. For now, I mean, I am bullish on the euro, not just yet, right? I need just the last piece to give it to me, right? Now, moving on the pound. On the pound USD, this structure could be a bit more complex, right? So in a sense that this B wave in a certain structure, a double or even a triple free, could actually break this low, yeah, the start of A. So yeah, it could be quite. Pound has a lot of things around it. Many things are happening in the UK right now. So this could actually happen. However, it can go right in a scenario where this is a 1 and then 2 and then 3. However, as soon as it breaks this low, if it goes on the downside, this could actually end a pattern like this. I mean, the pattern in intermediate B orange in a, let's say, W, X, A, B, C, Y for this B. So then we'll be left with A, B, and then C for the entire pattern before a much bigger um, contraction. I mean, sell-off. Let's say when the dollar will be getting back on track. So let's just go on the 2-hour time frame on the pound dollar right here. Notice the way it's rising. Also hit the 100% retraced immediately from that, and the way I'm seeing things is this being obviously the correction in the middle in the B wave. So A, B, and the Fibonacci extensions reflect 100%. So the C leg actually looks like it gains support on that, right? So in a scenario where this could actually jump on the upside, could be valid. However, this wave 2 must not, I mean, the price action must not exceed this low. Otherwise, it would be invalidated in a wave 2. All right. However, if that is a WXY, so this B leg could be actually lower than that, then obviously it would need one more drop, right, for that. And Ellioticians, I mean, if that happens, I will be counting 5 waves on the downside and a possible bullish divergence. Notice that the bullish divergence is not really here, all right? So I would be comfortable with this type of divergence while the price action keeps on dropping. So yeah, we'll actually see. However, yeah, you guys know my view. I am bullish on them, right? I was actually bullish on these patterns, even from, let's say for instance from here, yeah, even from there, also from here. Okay, so yeah, exactly at the bottoms. There we go. Go on. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually bullish on these things. Yeah. Now, one thing one asset which I'm not really bullish on is the dollar yen, because I'm actually seeing some things, and I will expand on these. Remember when I told you guys that the VIX might spike, right? And it did, and Dow Jones lost about, I mean, almost 3,000 points, right? So yeah, it could be quite interesting. I'm gonna go on the Dow Jones and the DAX and the S&P, Nasdaq, and all of that. Also on the VIX later on. So let's finish up with the forex pairs right there. Yeah, I have some good plates in my kitchen today, so I'm gonna let you guys in on some possible good opportunities or something that you guys could actually look at. So the way I'm labeling dollar yen is in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a leading diagonal in this intermediate A, right? And now the contraction. Now, obviously, what I would like to see is a deep contraction, 50%, 61.8 for this C leg, just like the oil, right? On the downside, because this kind of looks corrective, yeah, and this piece would need to go, right? So a breach of this channel could be quite bearish for dollar yen, and that's when I believe that things could actually um, get moving. Because if the spike of volatility is coming back, which I'm actually suspecting, then the yen could gain a lot of strength, being a safe haven asset, and gold could actually rise. So this actually makes sense. This correlates with the with my views, right? So yeah, you guys could actually see I was actually bearish on this one right there. Also in the Q4 report, which was basically done for by yours truly for Orbex live account holders. Yeah, so yeah, well, actually all clients. So basically, let's say, let me go on the dollar yen right here on the 4-hour time frame. And yeah, I previously did a video on this, and seems to me like I'm on the right track once again. So I am notice this pattern right here. Yeah, um, so this harmonic pattern, yeah, could could actually be a bearish shark, right? So this could actually be on the right track. Now notice that it did drop. Okay, so we broke out the ending diagonal, which was actually formed in this. I mean, rising wedge contracting, and yeah, the dollar yen actually broke on the downside. So what I'm actually suspecting is, let's say for instance, maybe a corrective wave two, right? And then possibly this thing actually starting, right? So once again, a bit more patience for these patterns, but just wanted you guys take a look at them, right? Now, continuing, let's say for instance with the yeah with the USD CAD is quite a interesting right now, and this is because this pattern is in my personal opinion could be completing quite soon, right? Not to mention that I'm labeling this as an expanded flat right there, as you guys can actually see in a leading diagonal in one and expanding flat in two, right? I mean the red minute two, and I would like to. I'm actually curious to see this if it breaches through this lower trend line, because this could be quite a bearish sign, especially if it goes in a corrective um, sequence right there in a bear flag and possibly continue on the downside, right? So yeah, I will be keeping my eye on that. Let's continue with the indices on the daily time frame right here. So I'm on the DAX, the daily chart, and yeah, I mean, I was actually present from the very top, right? Saying that this could be um, coming towards this, and it did, right? All over again. I mean, not only here, all here, 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 all that. So I was on top of it. Now, what I would actually be expecting, correct? I would, because this, I'm gonna go on the lower time frame for this. I need to show you guys this one. I'm suspecting a retracement, possibly on the upside, thus possibly bumping its head again in the um, descending channel for the next sell-off. And the reason why I'm saying that, yeah, is because if I go on the GRX, yeah, on the X, I'm noticing a pattern which is either typically an A wave, right? And notice this correction is quite complex, so I'm suspecting a B wave and a possible C right here for a larger pattern, yeah, in this type. So the sell-off might not just be over, and the reason why I'm saying that, yeah, is because if I take a look at the VIX, yeah, the volatility index. Um, Remember when I in let's say in late September 2018, I actually said that the big VIX could be spiking once more, yeah, and that's basically what actually happened, right? Now the indices suffered a lot during this, and yeah, suffered some impressive sell-offs. So the way I'm labeling this, and I'm basically I'm looking at this as the first sequence, second corrective, and then this could be breaking uh, above that point, right? So the way I'm labeling it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this making it a primary one, and this could be quite dangerous because the second wave in a simple type of correction retraced, gained support. I mean, retraced until the 61.8 of this one, yeah, and it could mean business. So how I'm looking at things, we have a five-wave sequence in a smaller degree one, and would like to see this type of correction here, similar to this, all right, for the next move on the upside. Okay, so if this happens now, I was right right then. I will see if I'm right now. So for that, I'm gonna continue with the Dow Jones on the daily time frame, right? And cannot stop noticing some interesting things happening, because the sell-off might not just be over, and this could be just the start of it, right? But we'll see if that happens, because this trend line has been broken. Yeah, not to mention that, let's say for instance in an A, B, and then C, the 100% Fibonacci extensions from A and B hasn't been hit. So this could be like the minimum retracement for a running flat scenario, in my personal opinion, obviously. So yeah, what if it goes lower to the 161.8, which is 21,150, right? So we'll need to be on top of it, right? Now, not to mention that also on a harmonic type of pattern, let's say for instance, this could be like this, also a bearish shark. Okay, so yeah, what if, right? Not to mention that if you try to look ahead using the harmonics, XACD, yeah, you could have something there. So it's actually quite interesting. It is between patterns. It is exactly located around the 25,200, vibration zone. But it is a breakout point, right? So facts are facts. What this could do is crop its way up, crawl its way up towards the trend line, possibly retesting it maybe one time, maybe two times, we don't know. But this could actually turn from there, right? So this is what I'm actually watching. Now, obviously, this could be a inverted head and shoulders, but it could also be a head and shoulders right here. So, yeah, which one, right? Well, facts are facts. As I said, it could be rising and then falling because this move on the downside could be interesting. So, moving on to the S&P, similar type of structure, also like this. So, basically, what I would be looking at is a correction right here. Yeah. So, final piece ABC, which means that this 4 is right not really over, right? So we have basically either could be hard to be an A right here. So even I mean if this is a 1 and this even if this is a 2 or the 2 is here, the next one could be quite dangerous, right? So it's all about the VIX, and this is why I'm gonna come back to it because I cannot emphasize how important this is, right? Um, if this gains support on the 61.8 and spikes, right, this could be quite serious because the spike would resemble something like this. Yeah, it would be interesting. And once, yeah, let me just go on the Nasdaq, right? And I'm labeling Nasdaq in a running flat right here in this 4, and then an ending diagonal in this 5. And notice that the cycles and degrees, cycle wave free, is one step ahead, right? Nasdaq being one step ahead of S&P and Dow Jones, right? So the way I'm labeling this is in an A, B because it went higher than the A, right? In a wave 1, 2, it cannot. So it's a B, A, B, and then the sell-off C, right? So the way I'm looking at this is as in A, B, C in a running flat as well, yeah? Possibly either A, B, or um, 1, 2. In this type of structure, I will stick with this A and then B and then the C leg, right? And this could be quite powerful because um, wave 4 would typically end its price action movements in the previous wave 4 of a lesser degree. This is a cycle degree, green 4, and then this is the primary, right? 4. So, yeah, somewhere around here we could be coming back, but it could also be exceeding, right? If this is a powerful sell-off, it can even go lower, and by that I mean this points right here, which is around 5,500. Yeah. Now currently it's 6,100. So sorry, 6,825. So this could be quite interesting, right? So heads up, guys. Heads up for these possible swings. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to make this video too long. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it so far, right? I'm giving you guys exactly what you need. Now, let me just continue with the small time frames on a 2 hour here on the USD Swiss, right? Now, the USD Swiss, the way I'm labeling it is in an A, B, and then C. We'll see what type of pattern this actually does because let's say this could be a harmonic as well, yeah, in a bearish crab, right? Right there. So it could resemble that, right? Now, uh, let's see, because the way it dropped, this could form a wave 2 in an expanded flat as well, and then to actually start. However, wave 2 would be invalidated by a new high point, right? So mustn't go higher than that. but will basically it needs a little bit more patience, this one, right? Moving on to the AUD on the AUD USD 2 hour time frame right there. Okay, so the way I'm labeling this is in a wave 1 2 and then the extension 1 2 1 2, and then let's see which if this actually decides to go like that, right? There is a pattern in which this could actually unfold like this before. So it needs some patience. Notice there is a divergence right here. So yeah, this could pass as a wave A and then A B C B and then 1 2 and then the sell-off, right? So yeah, I mean a confirmation, possible confirmation could come from a Fibonacci retracement lower than the 61.8, so which is 0.72130. If it breaches that, then this thing could actually drop until the 61.8 because it hasn't hit yet, right? It only hit 50%, and I would be more, I mean, satisfied to go with 61.8 in a proper zigzag correction for a wave 2, which is this one, right? So yeah, I mean, seems to be aligning for that possibility because AUD is correlated with the metals. So if the metals actually do contract like that, right, then also AUD could lose some value, right? So it all depends. As I said, 61.8. If not this 61.8, which is this pivot right here, 0.7 to 1270. So yeah, the view is still bullish, but not just yet, right? I will need to confirm more, right? Yeah, Kiwi, NZD. This thing is in a hurry. Yeah, it's one step ahead of the AUD, so I'm labeling it as the 1 2, then 1 2 3 4 5 extension in the free and fourth wave 38.2. This is where the previous, as I said, wave 4 would typically retrace in the previous price action of a wave 4 of a lesser degree, which is this zone right here, 38.2, 0.67180. Yeah, 0.67190, somewhere around there. But it all depends here what happens here, right? Because just like the AUD, this thing can actually go even lower before it could even decide, right? So 30.2 must not be broken, for instance, right? Should gain support on it. Should, not saying that it must. So um, ending this video right here, I'm gonna leave you guys with because I'm receiving some requests for the exotics, right? So let's go on the TRI because it's quite quite interesting. This one, the Turkish lira, USD Turkish lira, so dollar Turkish lira. I am labeling it in an impulse right here in an ending diagonal, yeah. So right here, I mean this entire trend right here. So the way, I mean, after I hit the top, I'm labeling it as an A, then B, and then A, B, C, then 1. So ending with a C leg with an A, B, C in each impulse wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 wave sequence, but with a twist, right, under a descending channel. So basically, um, we have wave 3 right here, corrective 4 and ABC A and a triangle. This is how I'm labeling it, right? There could be one more possibility in this, right? In which this is in fact the A, and then this is the corrective B, and then a bigger C for the B, I mean for this B, and then to continue, right? So there it could be this possibility for this structure before, right? However, this I cannot stop noticing this possibility for the channel, right? So this could be a channel. Sorry, triangle. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, guys. Anyhow, if this is a triangle, then we're set to go on the downside because usually a triangle resembles the struggle and the between the opposing forces, and basically it also resembles an end of a pattern, right? So yeah, it's the last piece before. So in a sense that this could be the last piece following, I mean, before this, so that it can actually rise. Okay, so that's basically the explanation of it. But there's an interesting thing happening with the dollar Mexican peso, right? Whoa, look at this thing. It's actually performing nicely in wave four, and then one, two, three, four, five, and yeah, it is quite interesting what's happening right here, right? Because this kind of looks like a channel, okay? And a breakout of this channel can send it a bit more on the upside, making this quite dangerous, and this could actually be an extension. So, however, if it doesn't, I mean, the things to look out if it breaks would be a pattern, a consolidation pattern on the downside, right? Declining pattern, right? However, if it breaks through on the downside, and this pattern would go like this, then this could confirm much more downside. So notice that I'm labeling five waves up, right? But we'll be interested to see if it breaks on the upside. Notice that we do have a bearish divergence right there on the end of the trend. So yeah, it's the bears are not have not been invalidated yet, right? Unless this actually breaks and performs one more on the upside, right? So yeah, that's basically it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like and share it so that it could reach more traders. Until next time, as I like to say to all my traders, stay in the green and many pips ahead.